Welcome to another race with the AFM. This is Aaron Cohn. This is 2025 round 4 at Thunderhill. I ride with EKR, Air Condo Racing, and I ride with Very Track Days. This is Formula 5 ultra lightweight. I'm gridded on pole. This is the main 8-lap race. Nolan Loop is leading in points. He's gridded in second, and we have one round left after this race. So I need to beat Nolan if I want to have a chance at winning the championship. We have multiple camera angles for this race. Izaiah Thigpen has a camera on his bike, the RC390, and the AFM live stream set up by Oxymoron Photography. Max Klein with Oxymoron has been kind enough to set up this amazing live stream. So let's look at it and let's enjoy it. 2 board goes to 1 board, where revs are up, 1 board is on its side, and the green flag's out. We're off to racing. Absolutely atrocious start from me on the front row from pole position. Izaiah and Mark Lowe are battling it out for a pole shot. Looks like Mark's got it. Nolan is coming around the outside of me, so I'm already losing ground here. And now Nick Renoni has also made his way around the outside into turn 2. I've gotten off to an absolutely slow start. We're on board with Izaiah Thigpen coming around the outside of Mark in turn 2. Heading into turn 3, we have this beautiful camera angle from Oxymoron Photography. Everybody's clumped together. Looks like Izaiah got the pass done. Mark got swarmed and has dropped back to 4th place, and I'm behind him in 5th. We go up the hill, braking hard on the brakes to the top of the hill. Backside of the hill, we're back to this wonderful 360 cam view that I have on the tail of the bike. And we're just slotted in behind Mark here. Nick Renoni ahead of him. Nolan in second, and Izaiah Thigpen in first. Izaiah is a novice. He's not racing in our class, so technically he doesn't count, right? He's not going to score points in the novice category either, I don't think, because the 390 is not really allowed in our class, but he's racing it. The AFM lets him race. We want to ride against him, so here we go. And I've got my teammate at Sushi Sumia crawling all over the back of me, just going wide into turn 9. We come down the hill, and I'm getting a run on Mark Lowe into turn 10. Looks like we got him on the brakes. We get this wonderful live stream shot coming into turn 11. Izaiah's leading the race, Nolan right behind him, and Nick Renoni coming up in 3rd place to round out the podium positions. We're coming onto the back straight, going through the S's, and we've got a little bit of a gap to surmount here as Nolan makes the pass coming into turn 14. He must have got that slipstream coming down the back straight, which is impressive because he's got this really down on power Ninja 300, but he rides it like a beast. But Izaiah's coming up behind him. He's got the grunt from the 390, and the Ninja 300 is just no match. As I come up behind Nick Renoni, we're gaining a place and moving myself up into 3rd place. As we go down the first straight to complete the end of the first lap, we've done a 2:11, which is not really a great lap to start with, but you know, we got 7 laps, 8 laps left, and we're gonna up the pace. I guarantee that. As we come up right behind the back of Nolan Loop, coming into turn 2, and we're lining him up. It looks like Izaiah's out wide. We don't know what he's doing out there, and he's just sweeping around the track. Nolan just doesn't seem to know what to do. Izaiah's going left, he's going right. Nolan cannot set up a pass. As we come down out of turn 4, up the hill, into the hard braking zone as to the top of turn 5. Down the hill we go, and I'm getting a good drive. And we can hear the rev limiter bouncing off of the Ninja 300 of Nolan Loop as we take advantage of that little moment where he's lost power and get him in the entry into turn 6. And now we're hunting down the leader, Izaiah Thigpen. And remember, he's not in our class, so technically I'm in 1st place now. Expert class. I'm in 1st place. Nolan is in 2nd place, and Nick Renoni is 3rd. Izaiah is technically, he's 1st on the track, but he's not 1st in the standings. He is 1st novice. So as we come up behind him into turn 10, turn 10. This is a race for pride, not for points, right? We just need to stay ahead of Nolan here. As we come around turn 11, and Izaiah's right in my pocket. He's able to stay with me. He's coming down the back straight right in my slipstream. He's definitely going to get past me. But he's chosen the wrong direction. What is he doing? He's gone to the left side. He's given me the inside line. And leg out, he's braking as hard as he dares, but he's not going to get around the outside of me. I don't care what kind of bike he's riding. So here we go onto the front straight, and I've got a little bit of a gap now. But here he is in the slipstream again, and he's just starting to gain. And it looks like, yep, as we get past the start-finish, he is around the inside. We've done a 2:07. That's a much better lap time than the first lap around. And we're going to try and get him into turn 2 here. I've got a really good entry speed, but we don't even need it because I've got such a great drive out of turn 1 that we're past him on the entry already. And here we go into turn 2, hugging the inside, trying to keep him from coming around the outside. We sweep around and try to make a tight apex in turn 3 here. And it looks like Izaiah's bike has just been upset a little bit on the way into the corner. He's probably just hit the bumps there and unsettled the front end. As we work our way up turn 5, and he's catching me on the brakes here, and I've gone a little bit wide at the apex as well, but we're making some time back on the way down the backside of the hill. And I've just overcooked the entry into 6 and had to keep the throttle shut to get back to the apex. That's not going to help us at all. It's really not what we want. Coming through turn 6, you want to maintain your corner speed as much as possible and carry that speed through 7 and build that through 8, because on the way up to 9 we just don't have the power on the R3. If you lose power, you're screwed. So you got to keep the momentum. And we do have to brake for 9, but then you want to get back on the gas as early as possible and carry that speed over the top of the hill. Now coming into 10, we have about a 10th. It's not enough space, really. We need to have more, otherwise he's going to get in our slipstream. So we got to do something here on the exit of turn 11. And it looks like we have got a little bit of a gap that we're building here as we come out of 11. It's enough that we're able to keep him out of the slipstream and prevent a pass up the inside. But just look at Izaiah's bike on the brakes coming into 14 as I clip the apex perfectly with my knee over the curb and get a nice squirt out of 15, and you can hear Izaiah's bike just bouncing off the rev limiter, and that's really not going to help him as he loses ground coming out in the front straight. Now turn 14 is really interesting because it leads into 15, so they're almost like one corner in a way. They're both super important. You have to go deep on the brakes into 14, firstly because you want to maintain your speed as long as possible, but also because if you don't, then someone's just going to send it up the inside. The other thing is it's such a late apex, so you can't really push the corner speed too much or you risk ending up in the rough on the exit. Well, and then super 15 is super important because it leads onto the front straight, so you have to brake late into 14, but then be patient and really control your slow point at the apex so you can get back on the gas early and keep it open all the way through 15. Now we come to the top of the hill and you can see he's catching me again on the brakes. And look at the dust coming off his knee as we come down the backside of the hill. And coming back into 6, I'm going wide again, and it looks like he's just getting into my head a little bit. You know, I could hear his bike. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere behind me, but he could be like right on my butt, or he could be like a couple bike lengths away. I just can't tell. And we're coming up here on another rider from the 400 class already, and I've just got to find a way around him, but it's a little tough coming through turn 9. You don't know how high the speed difference is going to be. And we both ended up getting around him at the same time, so I wasn't able to use that to my advantage, getting around that lap rider. Izaiah's actually been able to reclaw some ground on me going through that section, and now he's just right there again. And it looks like he's going to be in my slipstream as we come through the back straight. We're tracked by this drone footage, and Izaiah's gaining, and he chooses the inside line, but I see him coming, and I brake late and deep, and you can see I've gone wide. I've gone a little bit wide on the exit of 14, but I managed to gather it up and get back into it in 15, and we've still got this position. And going deep on the brakes in 14 allowed me to keep this position. We're coming across the finish line to the middle of the race. That cross was up. We've done a 2:06.4. That's the fastest lap so far that we've done in this race, and we're starting to heat up. Nobody else is keeping up with us. It's just me and Izaiah, and we're already catching up with more of the 400 class riders. We've got another one coming up here at the exit of turn 2. What's it going to be? Are we going to catch him on the outside? Yes. We're going to get him before the entry to turn 3, and we have successfully planted a landmine in front of Izaiah, who's having a little bit of trouble getting around, but he's managed to get it on the exit of turn 3, and he's making his way through turn 4. He's lost a little bit of ground, but he's still in touch. Let's say he's still in touch coming around the outside of turn 5 and into the entry of turn 6. And we can see I've missed the apex again. I'm still rushing into turn 6. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to manage the entry with what is essentially no brakes. Turn 6 is really tricky on the R3 because it's like you're at the top of 4th gear. You don't want to switch into 5th, and if you just roll off, you're going to get lots of engine braking, so you don't really want to hit the brakes. But if you just dump it in there into turn 6, you tend to be carrying a lot of speed, so you've got to bang it in there really quick. You can't be lazy on the bars, and I tend to be a little bit light and, let's say, conservative with my turning speed. So, yeah, I mean, you miss the apex. If you're going that fast and you don't bang it in there as quickly as you can, you're going to miss the apex. So that's something I got to work on. So we get into turn 14, just a little bit wide, missed the apex there as well. But we've got good speed, and we're coming out of turn 15, and we've got the biggest gap that we've had all race. So we're coming down the front straight here, and Izaiah sort of disappearing into the distance as we come around for, I think, lap 5. So that was the end of lap 5, so this is the beginning of lap 6. We've done a 2:06.5, which is about a 10th slower than the fastest lap that we did. And we're coming into turn 2, and we've got free track in front of us. This is lovely. So now, theoretically, I should be able to set a rhythm and just kind of establish a dominant position in this race. And I'm unimpeded, so, you know, there's no excuses here for missing apexes. But I will say that I'm a little bit nervous here. Izaiah's been pushing me. He's been putting on a good performance. I missed a shift, I missed a shift there and just had to switch it up, and that's pushed me a little bit wide again into turn 6. Izaiah's starting to regain ground. You know, I can hear his bike behind me, and it's making me nervous, and that's causing me to push a little bit harder, push a little bit deeper into corners, miss apexes. It's that mental kind of overhead of wondering where that guy is. That's, you know, it's really kind of dumb because it doesn't really matter if he finishes ahead of me, theoretically. I should be focused on the championship here, which I am easily winning. Well, I don't know about the points situation here, but I'm doing what I need to do. I'm ahead of Nolan, and I'm battling out with somebody who is not even a feature in the championship. So, you know, why do I care? Well, this is amateur racing. This isn't pro racing. You know, the championship is cool and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I want to win. And who the hell is that? At this point, I do not see this person. I do not hear this person. I don't know that there's somebody coming up behind me. He gets around Izaiah, and then just a second later, I hear this growl, and I see him come by. That is Alex Ricci, who started in the 750 Superbike, 700 Superbike. 7. It's one of the Formula classes. I think it's like Formula 3. Anyway, they're faster. And this is the last lap. You see the white flag. So we've got a little bit of a healthy lead here. And let's not screw it up, yeah? And it looks like Alex Ricci is just taking his time to get around a 400 rider. This is Philip Burkhardt, my teammate in the EKR team on his Ninja 400. We're coming up behind him as he makes his way down the backside of the hill on turn 5 and into turn 6. And I've been talking to Phil, and you know, he wants to work on turn 8. He wants to work on this back section of the track. So I'm going to try and find a way around him here. Hopefully he's not going to hold us up too much. And once we do get around him, as we nice clean pass around 8, we're going to tap the tail and say, hey, tuck in behind me, you know, let's pick up some lines. But it looks like Phil missed his shift into a turn 9 there, and yep, he's disappearing into the distance. Maybe he helped me out by holding up Izaiah a little bit. I hope so. As we come into 9 and we're just, sorry, turn 10 and we're totally wide. I don't want to hear Izaiah's bike behind me anymore. I just want a nice clear track. I want to be left alone, and I want to make it across the finish line to finish the race. We can see from Izaiah's view that I've got a nice healthy lead here coming under the bridge into turn 14. And we're just going to clip that apex and, well, okay, maybe not. We're just going to go wide on the last corner and perhaps give Izaiah a chance to come back at me as we go down the front straight. And yeah, okay, we had enough of a gap that mistake didn't matter. And here we go. The live stream gives us a nice view crossing the finish line in first place on the track, first place in expert, and we are well on the way to a championship battle showdown with Nolan in the final round of the Formula 5 Lightweight Series in Buttonwillow Circuit. Now, I really got to take the time to thank my teammate at Sushi here, because it looks like he came from behind and took second place off of Nolan Loop, giving me some valuable points in the championship chase here. And look at that tight finish between Mark Lowe and Pao Vang, only 0.005 of a second in it, with Nick Ranoni finishing just a little bit behind them. That must have been a really awesome battle at the end of the race there. Now it's interesting, we should have had 8 laps, but it looks like we only had 7, and I think that's because we got lapped by Alex Ricci. Now as we come off the track into pit lane, we're going to have an opportunity to slap hands with Izaiah. It's always a good thing to do after a nice fun race like that. It's always a lot harder than it looks to slap hands while riding a motorcycle. And we're going to get a nice hero's welcome here from the folks from Carter's at the Track. Always happy to have that on the way off the track. It makes us feel really good after a race, so thanks to them. And now we're going to have a chance to chat with Nolan and Izaiah about the race, and let's see what they have to say.
How long did you stay behind me? The whole race. Oh, no, he was like in your ass most of that time. Yeah. I lost about 100 yards on you guys, and I was like, eh. Yeah, I could hear your bike. I was like, fuck, right in my pocket. I was like, yeah, I was behind you. I was like, save it for the next one. All right, brother. Yeah,
Well, we love to see some good sportsmanship. That's a wrap on the Formula 5 race, and we look forward to the championship decider at the next round at Buttonwillow Circuit. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.